I can see Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, everything is all right. I can see you. I can hear you.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's a shame it's dark behind you. The last time I saw you there, I could see the snow on the trees.
Yeah, but here it is 6 o'clock, and
Of course,
6 o'clock.
of course.
My sun is now coming down. They went
Oh, is
up
it?
with the lamp
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah,
there's nobody, and in the night, on the white snow, when you have artificial light, you
yeah.
have the impression you go faster than with the sun. You know, the light of the
Absolutely,
sun and the light artificial the artificial light gives you the impression that you are much faster on the snow. So it's a
absolutely,
it's an
absolutely.
interesting experience.
It is absolutely. I love surfing as well, and I watched a documentary recently about Bethany Hamilton, this legendary surfer that lost an arm, and she could still surf with the best in the sport. And there are some incredible footages of her surfing in the night with the LED lights as well, and it's like a
Wow.
completely different experience.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Absolutely.
And it gives you a different feeling of speed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jean-Claude, thank you for being with me, with us again. The first interview was really good, and we had a lot of positive feedbacks. I know you enjoyed it, and it's great that today we're transforming ourselves into the Disruptors. The Disruptors, which is going to be a broadcast of 8 episodes, where we will try to discuss some inspiring, interesting themes of not only watchmaking, because as you teach me, watchmaking is a big metaphor of life. So from watchmaking, we will jump into entrepreneurship and into life in general. So welcome to the broadcast, and thank you for being with us, Jean-Claude.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to all these different podcasts. The first one is the Disruptors. It's a good
Absolutely.
title. I like it.
Absolutely. The power of disruption, Jean-Claude, as we called it, is we kind of identify ourselves with the independent watchmakers. The independent watchmakers, they have to do things differently. Otherwise, they don't survive. They're not interesting. It doesn't click for collectors. But in general, in life, these are days where if you don't think differently, success is very difficult to grasp. So is disruption the new normal for you in this very day and age?
It's not the new normal because disruption. Uh, the first the first time I read about disruption was in 1968, and it was Confucius. And I don't know exactly when Confucius was born, but it's quite some time ago. And he wrote about disruption, and he said, on, on in the river, only the dead fish swims in the direction of the current and in the speed of the current. A fish that is alive goes eventually against the current, or when it swims with the current, twice the speed, or it goes left or right of the current. The dead one just swims with the current. That means if you are like everybody, you are dead fish. Uh, and in 68, we all said when we heard that, when we read it, we said, wow, guys, we should never in our future life be dead fish. So always, and how can you not be dead fish? And we found out by being first, different, and unique. If you are first and different and unique, god damn, you cannot be dead fish. And when you are first and different and unique, then you can eventually even not lose. How can you lose when you play cards, poker, and you have 4 aces? It's impossible. And if you are first, different, unique, you have the 3 most important elements of success. You eventually, so that is when we discovered disruption. It was 1968, and it was thanks to Confucius, who wrote that. And we should all now read Confucius, because we can also read the Talmud or the Bible. There is not only Confucius, but Confucius is a numbers of stories he wrote that are incredible, that we can still, you know. He also said, if you don't want to feel the pain of work, make your passion your work. And you know, you are Italian, probably, because of the accent. And Juventus, they just...
Yes. I love Juventus, so carry on.
You love Juventus, yeah? Okay.
Absolutely.
all my son, everybody loves Juventus.
Nice.
And you know, I'm thinking now, when you ask Ronaldo, what are you doing tomorrow? He will not say, I go to work. He will say, I go play. So he never feels the pain of work. But unfortunately, 90% of the people have a passion that is outside of their daily work. So they are extremely happy to see the weekend coming, because during the weekend they can devote time to their passion. But if passion is your daily work, you are in your passion every day, so you never get the impression to work. That is something that we also learned from Confucius. So and then in a little bit later, 69 or something like that, we discovered Elton John. And Elton John, he was disruptive eventually a little bit with his music, but also with the appearance, because of the glasses. He was playing with the glasses. And that was a typical sign. How can I appear differently? How can I show who I am?
I have one here, a good old Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix next to me. I see exactly what you mean. Jimi Hendrix, the first, different, unique in both the style and of music and the appearance as well. So all the ingredients were there, yeah. Although, Jean-Claude, I have a doubt, because I am one of those in my small world. I try to change my work life into my passion, and I started something that I believe no one was doing, you know, promoting the independent brands, independent names online. So when Confucius was around, it was 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago, before Christ, and 550 before Christ. Laurent Pichotto just helped us with the date. Thank you, Laurent. Merci, Laurent.
Thank you, Laurent. Merci. Fantastic, Laurent.
So in those days, there wasn't instant information going on all over the world, where if somebody had an idea, then everyone could copy straight away, you know? Like nowadays, the big advantage is that we know everything. If we want to put the work in it, we can know everything. We can dig into everything and understand everything potentially. So becoming different, doing something different, it's become much more difficult, if you like. For somebody like myself, when I grew up, I went to university. My mom was telling me, you should work in a bank, you will have a good job, and just, you know, enjoy life and stay quiet if you can. But these days, it is clear you have to be creative. But how do you do it? Do you dig more outside of yourself or inside yourself today to find the right idea?
No, it's a mixture between yourself and outside, and it's also a mixture between the past and the future. You know, to understand or to be able to anticipate to tomorrow, that is not possible if you don't know and if you don't understand yesterday. So how to be different, unique, and first is a thinking where you take informations from others, from other industries even, not just from other watchmakers. It's even better if you take information from other industries. It's information of your own experience. It's information of your own vision. It's information of how can I say, of your own inspirations, and all this brings you one day to say, okay, now this is what we want to do. But then very quick comes the problem of courage. To be like anybody else, or even better, to be a follower, where's the courage? God damn. Eventually, the only thing you can be happy about is to follow the right guy. Yeah. Because some people are following the wrong one.
And to do the second, at least. Yeah.
That's even worse. Then you finish. So, to follow somebody, you don't need to be a genius. You only need to be a little man and to be afraid of your own opinion, and then you follow. Thanks God, 90% of the people are followers somehow, even more than 90. So you see, you need the courage that your vision to be first, different, unique might be wrong, because you cannot be immediately the first. It's a long apprentissage. You have to fail. You have to make corrections. You have to revise. So it's a very long process. And this process, I would resume it in one name. That's entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are creators. They create something. They don't copy. Maybe, you know, they have inspirations from others eventually. Probably Steve Jobs had inspiration from Nokia, but he never copied the Nokia. If he would have copied Nokia, he would be like Nokia today. He would not be like the Apple Watch or Apple phone or Apple computer. Tonight they will give the results of the year 2020, and we'll be surprised. I think the results will be again completely phenomenal. So he is a typical entrepreneur. He took a product and he eventually changed the product. When he went into the phone, people were using their phone 90% for phoning, and maybe 10% for SMS, for messages. Today, your phone is not anymore a phone.
You even forget about the phone function.
You forget that you use it maybe half an hour a day for phone. Yes. And that is entrepreneurship. So he was the first to transform an instrument that was made for calling people, and he made it a different instrument. And he said, no, it will be also to listen to music. It will also be to look at videos. It will also, etc., etc., etc. So he completely transformed it. And you need this courage, and the courage is also something that not many people have. Most of the people are afraid to do wrong. They are afraid to make a mistake. And if you are afraid to do a mistake, you will never achieve anything.
Do you think the fear, because again, in a small way, I've been through that, you know, before I started the limited edition, I was working for Richmond Group, then Girard Perregaux, then another independent brand. Cheers and enjoy the red wine.
Yeah.
You want to share what you're drinking? Which wine is it you're drinking at the moment?
Oh, this is Syrah. Syrah is from the Valais, where I am in Crans-Montana, and it's in Syrah du Valais, from valleys. Normally, the Syrah comes. The most well-known is from Côte-du-Rhône, but we have also quite good Syrah here in our valley.
It's about it being different again. Be a
Yes.
disruptor. Yeah. So, Jean-Claude, what's the most, so for me, as I was coming from the corporate world, and I didn't achieve anything incredibly great, but I was turning 40 and I said, okay, I want to do this. I have this idea. I want to do it. Financially, it's going to be a disaster, but I just jump into it and see how it goes. In a completely more famous story of you when you acquired Blancpain in 1982 and with Jacques Piguet, you decided when the world was completely going a different way and the Swiss watch industry, mechanical watch industry was doomed, you decided, I have a great idea. I'm going to reinforce the idea that Blancpain never made a quartz watch and will never make it again. Your fears, if you can go back in your shoes in those days, were you more scared financially, psychologically, creatively? Because, when you have ideas, you have few people following and embracing your idea and so many others saying, oh, you're an idiot, that's a terrible idea. Why are you doing that? Because it's easier to criticize rather than understanding and going deeper. What were your fears?
I was afraid of nothing because I was nobody, because I had no money, because I had no career, because I had no past. I had a past as a hippie. I had a past as a funny guy who drinks, who loves food, who loves women, blah, blah, blah. So when we launched Blancpain, what could I lose? I had no money. I was working at the post office from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning at the railway station where the trains were coming, and I was loading the train with the post things. So what could I lose? Zero. What could I risk? Nothing. If I launch now a brand, let's assume I launch JC Biver, I can lose because I have a past. I can even lose money because I have money. So
few people have heard of you now, yeah.
So in those days, I could not lose anything. And when you cannot lose anything, I could even not lose time. I was young. So life I had 60 years in front of me because I was not even 30. I was 24 years old. When you are 24 years old, you have 60 years ahead of you. 60 years to recover, 60 years to do better, 60 years to make a career, 60 years to make a fortune, 60 years to enjoy, 60 years to have fun. God damn, what could I lose? And this is what I say to the students. Come on, guys, you are so young, you have nothing to lose. Go ahead, take a risk, go bankrupt, hey, and come back again. You have to go because... But today, I'm 72. I cannot say it anymore because I have maybe my reputation to lose. People will say, you see, now he failed. I have maybe some money to lose, etc. So today, if I would make my own brand, which I will probably not do, but if I would do it, I need more courage. 100 times more courage, 100 times more doubts than I had when I started.
Also because this is the era of the ideas. Like we go back to the beginning. Today, to succeed, if you don't propose yourself differently, it's very likely you won't succeed. So
you won't.
It is
people don't need you. People, everything is on the market. People don't need you. If you come today with another watch, so what? But exactly. If the watch is suddenly different, if it's unique, and if it's then yes, you have a project with a chance to succeed.
Absolutely. From the watchmaking perspective, then, from a watchmaker that is now, for me, we are living in an extraordinary time for independent watchmaking. Really extraordinary. Also, thank you, obviously, to people like yourself. You've been collecting, you've been endorsing independent watchmakers. It is famous, obviously, your appearance in 2013 in The Single Man, that movie about the independent watchmakers. For a collector and for an independent watchmaker, how difficult it is to go beyond and start collecting not the usual brands, or start making revolutionary products like some of the independents are doing. I explain myself better. You obviously your collection, your Patek collection in particular, has caught all the headlines when it went for in auction, not long ago. And you had a depth in that collection that was fantastic. Some pieces are absolutely historical. But does it mean? I mean, was there a choice before to start collecting Patek and then differentiate into independence, or it's something that has happened along the way for you?
No. I started at AP in 75, and I stayed there till 79, and I owe AP Audemars Piguet my career. I mean, without Audemars Piguet, I would not be speaking here with you. So I owe 100% of my success, 100% of my passion, 100% of my knowledge. I owe it to Audemars Piguet and to nobody else. I owe it to Audemars Piguet. Because these 5 years, from 74, 75 to 79, they were instrumental. I learned everything. And I fell even in love with AP. And I left AP in 79 because my mentor told me that in 14 years, I would have a chance to progress in my responsibilities. Yeah. And when you are in 1979, I was 30 years old. When you say to a young 30-year-old man, a boy, in 14 years, you will have a salary increase, or you will have another title on your name card. You say 30 plus 14, but that's 44. When I will be 44, I will be old man. So I felt it nearly like an insult. And I said,
George Boulay.
Yes, I said, I cannot wait till then. And I left AP with my heart bleeding. But I left it because I said, that's too long for me. I cannot be blocked in this position for 14 years. I have so many new ideas. I have so much energy. I cannot keep this 14 years. So I left for that reason. But I still was in love when I left. And so when I could start a collection, which brand did I wanted to collect? Audemars Piguet or another one? And I said, no, I want to collect my biggest competitor. As I cannot compete in business with him, I will buy him all his history. And I said it to Philip Stern one day, and I explained him what I said now. Why do you collect Patek? I said, because you were competing me. You were my biggest competitor. And I could never win, but now I can at least buy you.
It is fantastic. It is fantastic.
So that's why I started my collection with Patek. And once I had a certain number of Patek, important pieces, I went to collect Audemars Piguet. And my Audemars Piguet collection, one day people will discover it. And it's also a fantastic collection. I have a certain number of unique pieces, a certain number of number one. I have a wonderful Audemars Piguet collection. By the way, I wear an Audemars Piguet today. You see, that's just by chance.
And some of our followers spotted that straight away.
So that's why. Now, normal people who have not this past as me, what should they collect? I asked several times. And I said, you should always start your collection with your eyes. and buy what you like. Buy a product that tells you something in for your eyes. And then you can never do wrong. If you buy with your eyes, you buy the right products for you. Because you should not buy for others. You should not buy because journalists say, or investors, you should buy for you, for your pleasure.
Which is a golden rule in art as well, no?
It's the golden rule.
Everybody can tell you a different story, but you have to buy what you think is right for
exactly.
You. Yeah. And in terms of watchmakers, so there is a situation where to succeed you need to be different. You have to propose something that has not been done before. But sometimes you hit massive success. So what do you do from there? You keep staying as a disruptor, or you sit on your success and you cleverly try to solidify your success without taking excessive risks.
That would be wonderful if life, like in business, would be like this. You can never sit on the success, because the success is not a stable seat. You can sit on the seat that is stable, but the seat that is not stable, you cannot sit. So nobody can sit on success. Success needs an adaptation daily for certain products or for shares in the stock market. It can vary from one day to the other one. But success in a watch brand, you can eventually sit 1 year, 2 years, but then you might need 5 years to recover. So don't think you can sit. Don't think you can rest. And because number one, behind you, there are other guys. You have always followers, especially when you are successful. If you are successful, you need followers, because if you want to win the marathon, you need people behind you. But if you are the only runner, you cannot win. You can only win against yourself and say, I made it. But a winner need people who are behind him. So followers who are behind you, competitors, as soon as they see you sit, come on, they come and grab you. So don't think you can sit. And if you have started to be first, different, unique, you must end your career by being first, different, unique. This is a rule that can never be changed.
Absolutely. So, of course, there are some of our viewers that are wondering who is the guy at the top of this podcast, of the videocast, being myself. So, just a small introduction again on the fact that we are live with Jean-Claude Biver from Switzerland. I am Pietro from the UK. I am the humble founder of the Limited Edition, which is a platform dedicated to the independent watchmakers. And we are very lucky enough to have Jean-Claude Biver with us to share about what it means being independent in mind. So this is the Disruptors. We talk about being different, being unique, and being the first, especially. So Jean-Claude, I think we have created a context here. So I come to the question that everybody, I know that this question will be asked every single podcast we will do, but I'll try to turn it in a slightly different way. So you said you have to be first, different, and unique if you want to have success or keep your reputation up there. In your case, so when you are thinking potentially to be out there with your own brand one day, what's your main reflection in regards to that? Because also there is a question, Jean-Claude, from one of the followers is asking, do you have any regrets about the past? So can we interlink these two things together?
If I would have the regret about my past, that would be a shame, that would be a scandal. I can have only thanks to my past. I can only go every day and get up every morning and say thank you to have given me such a wonderful passion, such a wonderful success, such a wonderful life, such a wonderful health, etc., etc. So the regret is zero. How could I regret anything? Of course, there are still things that I would like to achieve, but that's not a regret, because I'm from the passport. Okay, I'm 72. but from my heart, I'm 20. And from my brain, I'm 20. And from my wish and from my dynamism, I'm also 20. So there are still a lot of things I want to do. But regret of the past, I don't have. Eventually, but it's even not a regret, because thanks to the fact that I sold Blancpain, my whole life changed and took another direction. And I would never have had what I got thanks to the fact that I sold Blancpain. But in the beginning, when I sold it, I had regrets in the beginning. I had regrets for a few months or even maybe 1 or 2 years.
To the point that you went back to the Swatch
yes,
group.
I had so much regrets that I said to the Swatch group, can I work with you? And Mr. Hayek, the boss, he said, how can you come and ask a job? You just sold me the company.
Yes.
So you see, I had regrets in the beginning, but today I have zero regret. Now, the second question, I don't remember what it was. There were two questions.
If it was about, obviously everybody is asking in the feed about your potential new brand. So now that you are free again, completely free, is this going to happen? But from your point of view, we already discussed your positioning at the moment is not about taking a risk or not. You've done it several times in your time, but it's about your reputation, what you already have achieved, and how you want to be remembered, in 50 years from now. So where is your mind in terms of a new brand that could be eventually launched with the name of Jean-Claude Biver?
I think I have better things to do than to launch my own brand. Maybe I should, when you at my age, one should start to think, how can I give back? When God has given you during 72 years so much, He doesn't expect probably that you give back. But if you are a decent person, you have to give back. You cannot take. You have to give back. Okay, I gave back a lot while I was working. I gave back enormous. I gave back to many people. In the watch industry, some CEOs are my first proteges. So I gave back quite some. But eventually, I should concentrate more and give back instead of making my own brand. If I can eventually buy a brand, if the brand talks to me, if the people are good people, I could eventually help and take a little investment or be like a consultant. Why not? Because at the end of the day, my passion is still making watches. And I cannot retire from my passion. I can retire from my job. I have retired. I'm not anymore employed. So I am retired. But mentally, I cannot retire from my passion. So I see me more eventually assisting, helping, giving advice, giving back, than making my own brand. That I need to be humble. My own brand, I should forget it. I did a lot. Now concentrate. How can I help others? How can I help small brands? How can I give them the right advice? So that is more my preoccupation than my own brand. I think you will never see my own brand.
Also, this will be taken as a sad news from many, but I have another 7 episodes to dig on this, Jean-Claude. So, because I'm sure this question will be asked over and over again. I know already 35 minutes have gone, so I'll take it slowly to the conclusion, Jean-Claude. Thank you for your time. As a provocative kind of question, you have so many interests. One of them is the wine that you are now loving as you're talking to us. You make cheese as well. And you said once, I'm quoting you, tell me if I'm wrong, that the ultimate about being in control is to produce a product and then give it away for free. So nobody can actually criticize, complain or anything. And that's what you do with the cheese. Is that an element that you are maybe thinking for a commercial for a commercial endeavor like a watch brand or a watch production.
But if you think commercial, in the name commercial,
yeah,
it's not included free.
I tried.
So you cannot do. Now, why did I decide to offer this 9,000 kilo cheese? Because in the beginning, I wanted to make the best cheese in the world, or let's say the best cheese from this sort of cheese, which is an étivat, which is in fact like Gruyere. I wanted to do the best. And my farmer told me, but you know, Mr. Biver, if you want to copy the method that was done in the 16th and 17th century, that will cost a fortune. It will make the cheese impossible to sell because my farmer was selling it.
Yeah.
And I said, oh yes. And he gave me the price. And I realized that at this price, you cannot sell cheese. and the idea that we would not do the best cheese that is possible, and that we would not repeat the original receipt of the 1653 or something like that, I said, okay, you know what? We do the most expensive cheese, and don't worry, we will not sell it. I will pay for everything, and we will have the pleasure to make the same receipt than in 1650, in the 17th century. So that is the reason. That is the reason why I didn't sell it, because it was not possible to sell it. It would have been too expensive. So if it's too expensive, you have two possibilities: don't do it, or don't sell it.
You went for the second.
I went for the second.
It is great that the cheese is giving us, the conclusion and the reflection of your philosophy. Understand the past, translate it into the present, and see how you can be disruptive to propose it in a different way. The last question from me, Jean-Claude, and again, thank you everyone for being connected with us. We are just sharing with Jean-Claude, Pietro from the UK, Jean-Claude Biver from Switzerland, talking about disruption, how being first, unique and different can help in life to achieve success. So being disruptors, Jean-Claude, in your mind, is a philosophy, is a creative mindset, is listening to Mr. Doubt more and more in a clever way, or is it about the speed of always being the first? What is the one element?
There is not one element. You also need speed. Speed in the business schools, they don't teach speed.
Yeah.
They teach everything, but never speed. And speed is really one of the very important elements of your success. Okay, all the rest must be okay, it must be right, but speed is very important. The second element that people sometimes don't teach so well, everything you do must be coherent. Coherence. You know, when we at Blancpain, we wanted to be the reference of watchmaking, the reference. Because we wanted to be the reference, we said our manufacture must be in a farmhouse. Because in Switzerland, the watchmaking art, not the industry, the art is born in farmhouses. So we went on purpose to a farmhouse in order to be coherent with what we wanted to achieve. Second element, we wanted every watch made by hand, by the fingers. So if you want to do that, you must allow your watchmakers to have each one a key of the farmhouse, and each one can come and work whenever he wants. Some people, they like to go ski in day, and then at 3 o'clock, He come to the farmhouse and he works till midnight. What's the problem? Zero problem. If you want to be a reference of watchmaking art, you need to be in a farmhouse. It's coherent with the concept.
Perception is everything. How you get
perception is everything. Yeah. If you come now to Hublot at the reception, the reception is totally disruptive because we have furnitures of the 17th century and we have furnitures of tomorrow and we have art, contemporary art, and we have art of the middle of the last century. And people say, you have mixed the past and the future. Yes,
the fusion.
Because that's fusion. But you can see it already in the reception. So everything must be coherent. So speed and coherence are two very important elements to build success.
Very good. And one very last one, Jean-Claude. When you were at Omega, of course, you helped the brand really to go back to the right track by introducing some very groundbreaking marketing strategies, like the use of testimonials, ambassadors at the time.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
You introduced the James Bond, obviously, relationship. You know, I remember Cindy Crawford, Schumacher, Pierce Brosnan, etc., etc. Now, you know, as we now move to the third decade of the 21st century, what do you think the value of that is for brands that are still thinking, you know, to get recognized, we should get on the list of this, or that? When, for example, in independent watchmaking, this is something that, from the collector's perspective, doesn't seem to be that important. Do you see that kind of strategy still actual and current in a way, or is part of history, in your opinion?
It's part of the future. Because when you see the success of Omega today, the success of Rolex, which is colossal, what are they doing? They are working on the concept of ambassadors. I just saw today on Instagram a post of Rolex congratulating Lara Gut, which is a Swiss skier who won yesterday here in Caen, where I live. And I didn't know that Rolex was with Lara Gut. And I said, okay. So you see, the ambassador concept is an eternal concept. And we are all born. We all had ambassadors in our life, or you can call it mentors. The first mentor of a baby is his mother. The mother gives the first influence, the first influencer of a human being, a girl, a boy, is the mother. The second one, eventually, the papa. The third one, eventually, the teacher. The fourth one, the trainer in sport. The fifth one, the lover, etc. We are growing with mentors, with ambassadors, with influencers. So that's how we are built. So we will look at the animals, look at the young elephant. He's following his mother. The mother is teaching him everything. In the wolves, same. The mama wolf is teaching the young wolf or the young tiger how to, you know. So influencer is our life. So any advertisement, any promotion, thanks to influencers, will always work. But the influencer you choose must be coherent with what you want to achieve and the image you want to get and the customer you want to reach.
And the volumes you want to sell.
And the volumes you want to sell, yes.
Absolutely. We go back to the coherence, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jean-Claude. Fascinating. I really had a lot of fun, and I hope you did as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had fun, of course. You could see it, probably.
Thank you. Our viewers are enthusiastic. Can I just introduce the next video cast, as we call it, will be on February 15th, and it will be about respect. Respect in watchmaking, respect in entrepreneurship, and respect in life. And I'm sure there will be so much to talk about respect, Jean-Claude, that I know is a big element in your parcours journey.
Yes.
Thus far. Thank you, Jean-Claude.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Ciao.
See you very soon. All
See
the
you on the
best.
15th. Yes, latest. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you. Take care. All the best.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.